Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Zebec network. Now, I've been getting this question a little bit, right? I've seen a little bit here and there, but ultimately, I've been seeing, hey, sniper, did I miss the buying opportunity? Am I too late to get into Zebec? You know, I understand why people have these questions sometimes, and the answer is ultimately pretty much up to your mindset. Okay, now I know that sounds kind of like cringe to say, but it is the truth. If you're someone that wanted a quick 20, 30, 40, 50% flip, I would probably advise, just holding off onto the side, right? Because we are like in a decent range. We are right now, as of right now, we have these highs over here. And as of right now, we do have a lower high, which this could be the lower high that confirms that we're still going to be going lower generally, right? Anyone that bought, during this liquidity sweep that we talked about for some time down here, which I pretty much bought, like the moment it got swept, I kind of bought like I don't know, like around the 222. Yeah, literally at the 222 zone. For me, I was up and am still up technically 46%. Now, I'm not looking to be flipping this. I'm looking to be, getting a better dollar cost average in because, I bought a good bag over here, right at this black line, and I bought one over here. Now, I'm not going to tell you the exact amount. You can figure out one of the amounts in one of the older videos as it was shown, but let's just say I bought the same amount on average, then I would be chilling at somewhere in the middle of this, right? Somewhere in the middle of this, somewhere over here, right? Somewhere over at the red zone. An average of, let's just say 0029, let's just say 003. And for me, that's a very comfortable position for what I want to do, what I expect from Zebec, and for how I'm thinking about this project. I'm not thinking about this project short term. I'm thinking about it for the next few months, even the next few short years. And me buying an average of 0.003 price in is fantastic considering institutions have been buying around this price, a little bit lower, and even higher around the 0.0037 or even the 0.004 and the 4.2, the 4.3, right? We've seen institutions buy up there and they're still chilling, even though at one point, let's just say they were down almost 50% of their position. Imagine putting in $1 million and you're down 500K. But the thing is with these institutions, they don't care about getting the most nitpick perfect entry, same way they don't care about getting the most nitpick perfect exit. For them, they're still going to get a nice multiplier. For them, they still have that longer term vision. So, like I said, the answer is ultimately up to you. If you're looking for short term flips, maybe I'll just wait for a good sniper opportunity to be trying to flip. If you're looking to be holding, a couple of months, then objectively speaking, if we do expect, 10 cents as a high probability, but let's just downplay it even to 5 cents, which I think would be kind of a spit in the face of Zebec, but for the sake of mentality, right? Even if you bought in here and we took the price range, so let's just say we got in at the 3.2, more or less, that's 3.2, right? And you sold near the 5 cents, you used to be looking at upwards of 15x. Even if you sold at 3.5 cents, you used to be looking at 11x your money. 4 cents, 12, like you'd be looking at 12x, right? So it's really up to you. Mindset is super, super important in crypto. Understanding technical analysis is also very important, but also a big chunk is mindset. When a lot of people are kind of doubting, when a lot of people are fearing, usually that is the best play to be getting in, right? There's definitely some people that sold Zbec at the bottom here, while there's also some people that took the risk and they were buying up these positions. Who knows how these played out? Maybe they sold for 40, 50% gains. Maybe they sold for a 2x bag upwards of, 2.3 times, or maybe they just simply bought a nice dollar cost average and they're looking to be cashing out, like I said, a couple months or even a few short years from now. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay. I understand FOMO is a real thing. You do not want to miss, the final reversal. And then things just kind of go and go and go. And then a couple of weeks later, a couple months later, you buy in and then it just turns out to be that's near the end of the run, right? I understand. But like I said, hopefully that answers a few questions. When we go and look at the technical analysis, I'm still looking at this wick fill-in, right? I'm still looking at it. Last time when we kind of had something similar happen, uh, where we kind of had a low point, we did even go back down to a very low point of the wick, right? This is a decent sized wick back in June. All right, we had these bottoms over here, and then we can see the next week we went down a good amount. We didn't take out the current bottoms, right? We didn't take out the current bottoms, but we did go a good amount. We did fill up this wick a good amount, and that's going to be the exact same thing that I'm looking for Zebec when Zebec comes back down to like the 2-3, the 2-4 zone, generally speaking. Because I do ultimately believe that we are going to tap back into this range. I just personally really do believe so. Now, when it comes to what I see on the charts, like I said, at this current moment, we are kind of battling a trend line. In terms of the short term, we have this mini trend line here. So we kind of tapped off this trend line. Initially, we already are starting to sell off. If the daily candle closes this way, right, the way it's looking right now, then there's a high probability that we will have Wednesday reattempt to break this trend line for a final time. Okay. If I don't really expect for Wednesday to be a sell off, right? If Tuesday is going to be an aggressive sell off, then I would expect Wednesday to be a continuation sell off. Okay. But if Tuesday kind of ends this way, then in terms of pure technical analysis, right, in terms of daily candles, we'll have a low here, a higher low, a higher low. In terms of high candles, we have high and high. So we are staircasing upwards. So Wednesday would be the day where we reattempt to break the trend line. If we kind of fail on the Wednesday and Thursday, then this zone over here would be most likely kind of the short term top out. And then we would be selling off once again, right? As of right now, we have zero confirmation. Over the last 12 hours, we have kind of been slowly selling off and rejecting, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? This is a game of staircases. This is a game of probability, right? We could be doing is just coming back down to retest this to once again push further up. I have zero confirmation of us selling further down. I do think it would have to require a decent daily candle and daily momentum shift and multiple 4-hour candle shifts for us to even talk about it. But as of right now, if we're following the fundamentals on the 4-hour, where you have like this low and these higher lows, and like even if we come back down here, but it's a higher low, then I do believe we will go up. The only way I could see reversals coming soon is if we kind of come back down here, right? We kind of come back down here and we attempt, but then we kind of go lower, and then we attempt again, and we kind of go lower on the 4-hour, creating like some type of triple top on the 4-hour. Then I would expect for us to go down. But other than that, there are still zero signs. And, objectively speaking, once again, if you're looking at it from an investor standpoint, and even if we take the whole range, right, take the whole range, you're still below the 0.61%. So you are buying at a discount, right? You are buying at a discount from this whole entire pump and the top of the range, right? You are still technically buying a discount. Anything above the zero point 0.5 is already a premium price in the range. That doesn't mean it's a premium price for Zbec's future, right? Because I still believe if you actually got in at 0.007, you're still going to be making a lot of money this cycle, in my personal opinion. But what it does mean is that in this range, anything below the 0.50 is a discount zone. Okay, so at the end of the day, you have to be doing your own decisions. At the end of the day, you have to be making your own choices. And yeah, that is ultimately going to be it. People, let me know what you guys think. Like I did say, this monthly candle is very, very tricky. I rarely ever see monthly candles really flip. So I really doubt we're going to be going above the 0.0038 this month. We could attempt it obviously in December. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.